Okay, we're part two. Hope you watched the first part because we're right in the middle of Turnus's espionage mission here, and we're going through his childhood camp, trying to find some evidence we can use against the Gallian officials here. And this song playing is actually, it's another remix of Turnus's theme, which is a song from Ninja Gaiden. So I had a lot of fun with that. You gotta love Overclocked remix. That's where I got most of these. A lot of songs in this game from there, and just, especially when you have people do different things with one melody, it's always cool just to have the multiple moods and use it as a as a motif for a character. Alright, so we're gonna wander through a whole lot of grass here. Can't step in any of it, or else the guards come. And okay, let's see. And we're gonna keep going here, and then I think we're getting near the end of this. Alright, now we gotta go down here, and another one of the guards who who turns around, and you have to sort of make sure you're not in front of him. But I can walk right behind him, and it doesn't matter. The guy is not really doing his job very well. Got away from them, no problem. And then, that should be just about it. Now we're gonna go see who's really in charge here. And so now this is a Vander Till. Now, if you played Master of the Wind, then you know this name. This is Auburn's adoptive father. And but this is much earlier in his life. He is not the sort of loving father figure that she remembers. He is full on Gallian captain, and he's quite a cold-hearted bastard. And this eventually he would have a crisis, and you're going to see glimpses of that towards the end of this game. But for now, he's fighting for the cause, the evil cause. And the other one is Drances, who is Turnus's childhood rival, and now involved with this Gallian operation. Now Turnus just heard them say, called him cock. That's quite an entrance. And but Turnus just heard them say that they, may have had one of the counselors killed, Creusa, to sort of, rig the vote, I guess, by removing one of the counselors who was likely to vote against him. And now Turnus, hopes to use that against them, but he can't resist, telling them off, making a big entrance, and then going down there and actually, trying to fight them. This wasn't part of the plan that he worked out with Arius and the others. He's just probably not making it any easier for himself right now. But he's going to fight Evander one-on-one. And if you recall, Evander is an Earth Mage. But he also knows enough to cast a defensive spell against lightning magic, which, in theory, shouldn't be possible, just because of the lore. We're a lot stricter about magic in Master of the Wind in terms of what you can do, what you can't do. This game, much less strict. It's just not as developed, and I think the Master of the Wind approach is more interesting. But this is an older game. We gotta just play what we got. And so this is gonna take a while. This guy has a lot of hit points and pretty good defensive skills. And each one of his hits is doing a number on Turnus. Yeah, we're definitely past the point where I'm gonna cruise through boss fights. We're just getting too far in the game for that. I still have a pretty distinct advantage because of the high level, but as you can see, he's still really giving me a good fight. I'm not sure how to hit him because he's got the electric barrier up, and the wind spells weren't doing. I don't have powerful enough wind spells to make a difference. I know some, which is usually good to use against Earth, but they're all those sort of lower level ones. No, all right, that did it. Okay, so we're done with that, and so he's trying to provoke Evander into saying something else, but now he's going to go and tell his father and try to get another vote on the issue with Gallia turning that camp into a army base or whatever. So now I guess the council's having their vote outside, which is nice. So now we've got a little crowd here, And so we're just, gotta see how these guys vote. There's 6 of them, so they replaced the one that died. And so we're gonna vote one by one. And he said his father is disappointed with the turnout, but hey, Chrono came, right? That's better than nothing. He's probably just glad he's not on trial. And speaking of that, actually, there's a visual element here that's similar to the sort of famous trial scene in Chrono Trigger, where the jurors would stand to the left or to the right, depending on their verdict. And in this case, this is what happens here. The counselors are going to stand on one side if they agree with Turnus, and on the other side if they agree with Drances. And so that's a little bit of a shout out. And so they're both oh geez, Turnus, come on, man. He can't resist. He just can't let anything go, even when you're supposed to be a very formal town meeting here. He has to insult them. So he would not make a very good politician, despite what I've said in previous entries. Alright, so now we're going to hear the votes, and we've got this young woman who's a new counselor, and she is not cool with Gallia. She's going to just rip them a new one here, and she's totally on Turnus' side. And that gets Turnus excited, but now we have this old lady here who is, out of touch, doesn't really know what Gallia's up to, votes with Drances, and but yeah, Arius is smarter about it. He didn't think it was going to be unanimous. And then this weird guy who's obsessed with his mustache. We actually ran into him before, but he's on Turnus' side. What a strange man. Alright, so now Turnus is feeling good because they're already leading, I guess, in the vote, and he wants at least a tie so he can face what's his name, Drances, in the ritual first strike. Alright, so now this guy is being very pragmatic, kind of like Turnus' father, and he wants economic development for Rutul. And it's actually, this whole thing is fairly similar to the Harrow story arc in Master of the Wind, where they let the hand guys come and build that big tower, and and hired a bunch of people from town to work on it. And it actually is funny because Galdar was involved in that, but he got fooled. And so it's kind of a similar story arc. The whole idea about what's more important, like money or integrity, and sometimes we don't choose integrity. Certainly not in the real world. Sometimes not in Celeste either. And so now his father is having a moment of truth here. He's going to be the deciding vote, and but he's come around, and he's going to give Turnus a vote of confidence. And so now it's tied, and it's time for the ritual. It's time for Turnus and Drances. Now this, I was very happy with how this came out, because it's all staged, but it makes the player feel like they're doing it, because they're actually going to have a battle here. And what happens is, well, I'll tell you as it happens. So, and then of course all his family is shouting out. It's like a Little League game or something. And now we're gonna fight here, and he has no magic, so that we just attack, and then we're gonna go. And Drances always goes first, and that scares the crap out of people when they play this, because they think they're about to lose, because it's all about the first hit. But also Drances always misses, so Turnus gets to follow up and then do the hit. So I mean, it's just it only works once, when you play this, but it usually gets a good reaction from people. They're just about crap the pants when he goes first. Like, oh no! And now Evander is just rejecting the very premise of the ritual first strike. He doesn't understand why they have to clear out just because Drances lost a little duel there. But looks like it's going to take more. So Turnus does have a plan B, and you saw in the fight that we got a cabinet key off Drances, so he must have dropped it, when he got knocked over. And now he's sending Arius inside to look for something that fits that key, and it's up here. And then we'll open it up. Dead council member. And then we don't even have to see what happens after that. The Gallians are gone. It's one thing to negotiate, but when you start killing the town officials, you can't stay. Seems like a very reasonable provision. And then, so Turnus is feeling much better now. Galder says he's not wildly pessimistic, which is, a step up. And he's feeling good. And we're gonna go say goodbye to the family, and then we're gonna be on our merry way. And there's a few cutscenes after this that you'll see, but for now we'll go down and talk to him. And Saturnus will continue with the others. He doesn't really. He's got like a love-hate relationship with Rutul. I mean, he does love it, but I don't think he wants to stay there. I think there's certain things that he just doesn't like about it and wants to, I guess, be a Rolling Stone. And so it's he's definitely, even though he's got fond memories of growing up there, you can tell that he wouldn't bring his kids back there and raise them or anything like that. He'd probably do somewhere else. And but now he's gonna make peace with his father a little bit, or at least get to a better place before they head out. And the dad's been a little chastened. I mean, he was he thought he was doing the right thing, but it turns out that he was kind of misled, and now he has a better sense of what Gallia really is. And and they have to preserve what the town is about, and the town is not about what Gallia is about. So, and he's also informing them of the rebellion within the city of Gallia that's going on, and so that's sort of laying the groundwork for a lot of the plot later in the game once we get to the city. And Lysander left, and he was kind of in charge of that before, and now it's kind of gotten out of control. But Turnus feels sort of kinship with his hometown briefly. His dad said that they're sons of Rutul. Their family has just got a lot of history there, and so he's feeling good, and now it's time to get going. And some of that, sorry, some of that dialogue seems like it might have gotten cut out, but I don't remember making that cut. Oh, whatever. Alright, so we're gonna get the hell out of here and then see what happens next. We have King, come on. So we're leaving here, and then we go back to our buddy Seth and his posse, who are in the desert somewhere, and Seth is practicing his summoning skills, a centaur, and so that's he's pretty happy with that. And they're near, I guess you remember that dwarf that they met in the swamp was talking about how the dwarven city was destroyed by Gallia and replaced with a giant military installation or something, and that's about where they are. They're just getting a look at it now, and it's in a location where like you can't really go around it. This sort of narrow strip of land, and so they're going to have to try to find a way through it. But that's not just one squad of Gallians. It's going to be a huge amount of them there. So this group is going to have to try and speculate, how to get through it, and it's going to lead to some good stuff later. I'm looking forward to that, but not just yet though. There's some more stuff to deal with. And Zala, she's so like, I don't know. She's kind of like Turnus. She's kind of like their Turnus. She's always ranting about something. So we're done with him for a little bit, and then we're going to go back to Gallia, and we're going to pick up with Sharikra and the B team and their ongoing efforts to protect the town from the Fang cult. And so she's speculating that it must be somewhere out west, and but she's hoping that Ivory and her psychic powers will be able to pin down the exact location. And so we're going to spend some more time with this group, give the main heroes a break, and we're just about done here. No worries, Pops. So that's it for that. Hope you enjoyed this double feature, and we will meet up with Sharikra next time. Peace.